Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 3 of the International Paddock Media Day. Obviously, we've had two very, very well versed speakers prior. Well, when I say two, we had two groups in prior. Jamie was in talking about UCR on the last part of the Media Day. And before that, we had the group from VGT in talking about the virtual GT World Challenge that they are running from next Thursday and onwards. This time, however, we've got someone who's been in the comms box before with us and had a little chat. It is Mr. ERCXO, and he will be chatting a little bit about ERC and its upcoming season. So, welcome in, Mr. ERCXO. How are you?
Good and you, Goose. It's nice to be here, man.
Yeah, it's great to have you. I understand that you've just come in from a long day, so
Yeah.
I'll try not keep you long. I'm just trying to get a few little bits and pieces, bit of information for our lovely viewers about what's going on in the ERC paddock. So, first of all, I will get some decent questions on the go, but first of all, ERC is back. How good
Yeah.
does it feel to be back racing
Oh,
on
man,
on
it's
Wednesday night this week? Coming.
yeah. No, it's good. We've had quite a long break. I don't think we've ever had a break this long. So on the one side, it's good. On the other side, you are chomping at the bit just to get the season going again. You know, get the competitions running and so on. So yeah,
Obviously, you had the Smithy Cup on the game
we
as well,
had.
didn't you? So, how well did that
Yes,
go?
it went very well. I think the format worked better than I actually expected it to work. It was much closer than we thought it was going to be. So yeah, I think we all learned a lot about the game and how the game's mechanics works and strategies and how the cars handle. So I think from that point of view, it did the business. Um, we had time to test quite a lot of stuff that we want to make sure that when we start, that the lobbies are stable. What new issues and glitches does the game bring us? Um, so yeah, I think we've seen it quite a lot, and obviously we've seen some serious good quality racing throughout it, the Smithy Cup. So no, it's good. Very very happy for Rookie and them to win it there at the death, winning it at
We
the
believe
last
in Rookie.
race. Yeah, I did not look. Master Bay and them had a really tight grip on it from the first race. We all struggled, um, but yeah, since then, Rookie and them just was clawing it back,
Yeah.
and they took full the opportunities fully at the end. So yeah,
Yeah, and that's the important thing to take from it as well, is that you had a successful competition on a brand new game that in many
yeah,
ways like we didn't expect to be in the best of Nick, and it unfortunately never has been when it comes out, and even then it transfers a lot of its issues onto the rest of the season, unfortunately. But
it does.
I was going to say, I mean, obviously it is a new game. How do you think this has affected your drivers, and do you think they can still deliver when it counts? It's a big
I
question.
do, I do. I think the grid is closed up. I think some of the guys that were struggling to compete are now all of a sudden they're in the mix. Um, I think if you look at how many say DRS trains or DRS battles there were throughout the Smithy Cup, I think I'm very excited to see what happens. Um, it definitely looks like the grid is closed up.
I mean, even I felt competitive in the Smithy Cup, and I'm
You know.
not a driver anymore by no means, and I still feel as though that I had a grip of the car, even though it does feel like I'm driving a GTA 5 car sometimes, where the way that
Mm.
it's randomly sort of you can catch the car out of nowhere. I had a save round Saudi that I was extremely proud of. I genuinely felt like I was Pat Ward at the Indy 500. It was that
Mm.
shit in the pants moment of, oh my god, I might end up in the wall here, but I somehow managed to save it. So
Save it, yeah.
somehow the cars are still a little bit, they're not amazing, but they are drivable this season. Maybe not like previous 2 years where they ruined the game after the first update. But
Yeah, I think they definitely made it better for some people. Look, me personally, I really don't mind I'm not really that technical to if the car feels bad or doesn't feel bad. I just drive them. We all driving the same cars, so all driving the same handling model. So me personally, I don't really that stuff doesn't affect me.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
but yeah, I think there's a lot of guys that are very critical about it, and I do think that they made a step forward with the handling update.
100%. I agree
So
with you, and I think that that's how we're going to see a lot of drivers improve over the next 6 months. I think in a lot of leagues and ERC in particular, and I think
yeah,
to me it makes me extremely humbled as well as that us at International Paddock are glad to welcome you all back. Um, I mean, are you guys as excited to be back as as we
we
are for
are.
you?
Yeah, man, we definitely are. We are. I think we're on the final day of auctions for the Masters teams. I think we've got 3 or 4 teams left to be auctioned. The managers auction went down very well yesterday. We had a few hiccups with the bot not doing what it was supposed to do, but we fixed it throughout the day as we were working, and yeah, the Masters auctions have gone down very smoothly today, and we have contract windows coming up tomorrow and Sunday, and then next week we are racing. So everything is flowing quite nicely.
I'm super excited to see how you guys progress with that as well. And I mean, it's such an interesting feature having the teams auctioned off before the start of the
Yeah,
season, and you don't want to spend too much of your budget on the team, do you? So
exactly. So it's always the mental decision or the give and take. Are you going to spend a little bit more and get a good team, but not be able to contract as fast drivers, or are you going to give a little away and maybe jump into an Alpine, manage an Alpine, and get really decent drivers and try and win it from there. So it's always a good um, mental play to between what you want to do. Um, so yeah, we haven't made a lot of changes. So the format's exactly the same as it was last season. We felt we needed some stability from after bringing quite a lot of big upgrades to the format throughout the last 3 seasons. Um, we kept everything basically the same. We are refining on a few things, but it's not big updates that people need to get their heads around. So yeah, I'm very excited actually. It's good to see how the team managers have developed from last season when we did the auctions the first time to now, where they now all of a sudden realize, well, we can't blow our whole budget on a team. We still need to get drivers, and there's still expenses afterwards if they DNF and if if they get penalties and all that stuff.
yeah,
So it's good to see the guys learning from it. So yeah,
I think it's really important as well from a standpoint of a driver's point of view as well as a team owners is that knowing that they're a little bit more cautious this season than last because it was a new
yes,
format. People didn't know everything. Now they are fully clued up. They're gonna have a field day today,
yeah,
finishing up
it
the
is.
team auctions for Masters, and then tomorrow and Sunday being considerably important for getting the team that you want. It's fair enough having the cars that you want, but you need drivers. So it's
You
gonna be
need the
interesting.
drivers at the end of the day. Yeah, they still need to be driven. Um, so yeah, I've been, as everybody knows by now, that the contract window we don't close it down, so talks are open the whole time, even during off season. Talks are open between drivers and team managers. So it's been interesting to see the background stuff of it. Myself contacting a few team managers and a few team managers contacting me, getting into touch. And I'm pretty sure if that's been happening with me, it's been happening all around
A
with
hundred
all the other
percent. Yeah,
drivers.
it
So
would.
silly season has been open the whole time. Um, and it's interesting the ideas that managers have had and what teams they would like, where they think they're going to end up. The performance chart of the teams itself has been quite interesting to see how that's played out, um, and where everybody thought that the cars would be that they would want, so on. So it's been good. It's been an off season for us with breaks, from an admin side, managing not managing the league, and just having a break, but also having all these interesting things and strategy talks and stuff. So it's been good.
I
It's
thought
been
it was
good.
so heartwarming last week that you recognised me in a crowd of people in the middle of the Royal Highlands show. You heard my
I'm
voice.
telling you, mate, it was the weirdest thing. So me and my daughter, obviously, you've met her now. There,
Yes.
we were walking around, and the company that I work for is one of the main sponsors.
Mhm.
So I got tickets to go, and I was walking past you, and I heard you speaking, and literally just heard your voice. And I said, "That's Goose. That has to be Goose."
Yes.
So I walked behind you just to make sure if it is you that is, and then you spoke again, and it was yeah, it was
Yeah.
100%. That was you.
It was
So.
so cool to meet you and your daughter as well. I understand that you were really tired as well. Um,
Yeah,
I've
that was
honestly
a rough day.
my 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 missus, you met her as well. She's standing there.
Yes.
Sarah, she was really hungover. She had literally not. I'm gonna spill this, and she's gonna hate me. But literally 5 to 10 minutes after we had spoke, she went to a toilet and threw up. So it shows you the state she was in. And but she did get overly drunk the night before at the hoodie.
Yes.
But it was so cool to be essentially get recognised by yourself as well, and just by the voice. And I thought that was
Yes.
fantastic. So it was so nice to meet you, mate. And I'm hoping we'll get to actually properly have a sit down at some point, and when we come back down south. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was a very humbling experience to meet the man, the myth himself, Mr. Exo. But I'll get back onto the questions because I've got a couple more for you. Last season we witnessed some spectacular racing in all three series you run. Do you reckon you can have that again this season, or are you gonna have more
Most
spectacular shows?
definitely. Look, it's going to be interesting. I think the first season is going to be very interesting. With we've had the Smithy Cup, and people are getting used to the driving model and so on. But everybody knows it's not as competitive um, as managers and masters is. Um, Obviously, the hundred is a beast of its own. So it's. I do think the racing is going to be very close. I think it's going to be very tight, and I think we're going to see a few surprises. A few drivers are going to stand up that's normally not in the mix, in terms of getting good position, finishing positions and stuff. So I think it's going to be interesting how things play out. First, like I said, first season is going to be quite tight. I think it's going to be a few guys making a few mistakes. Handling models, still getting used to the handling model and so on. But I think it's a good opportunity for an outside chance to win championships this first season.
100%. I reckon that's like
Yes.
is how we're going to see it, you know. And I will 100% attest that every season that this has been run in the format that we've seen it, especially in Masters, we've seen something happen that's been
Mm.
different the last during the season as it progresses. Yes, you've got your quick drivers like Master Bear and so on, but I mean, even last season we didn't even see Nathan McIntyre fighting because he was in an Alpha Tauri, and they're
Yep.
not that quick, and he was struggling to get 6th and 7th in Masters. And obviously I'll talk about Masters because that's the one that I commentate on personally, but we saw it in other races as well. The 100 was very successful last season as well. It was
Yes.
super enjoyable to watch, and it was a shame that we didn't get the viewership we wanted on it. I was hoping we would be able to drum up a lot more, but we're going to promote the hell out of it this year after what we saw last season. And I think for me, and Casper will attest to this as well, sitting here in the chat just now. How are you, Casper? He commentated and enjoyed every minute of it, and Angelo will say he enjoyed every minute of it as well. And it's a shame Angelo's too busy watching the Euros to be here right now. Sorry, I will lambast him for that. Just because Italy's supposedly doing well, but
Well,
That's on him.
what I can attest is that being the reigning champion of the 100 of last season, I also really enjoyed the 100. Um, it it was a really good season.
It was super enjoyable. The races that I watched back as well, and the information being fed back to me by drivers and commentators as well, it just showed it in such a good light, and I was so excited and so happy to see it be so successful. And I'm so glad that we get to bring it back. It's on essentially its own little channel this year, which is so interesting to us. It's the only thing being shown on that channel. It is the ERC channel essentially at the moment for that race, and I can't wait to see how much, because it will actually give us a good gauge on how well and how many people love the 100, and I can't wait to see it. And I'm really excited going forward that it's going to be there. We do love Extra 2. It's going to be there. It's going to be live pretty much every Thursday at 8 p.m. We'll have comms available for you guys to watch as well. And we want to see you guys enjoy it, and it will allow us, so, we wanted to essentially grab it and capture it in the state that it's in and demonstrate to you guys in ERC that it's still a great formula. You guys see it in a racing point of view, but
Yep.
we see it from the outside coming in, and we love it. We love the 100, and we want to see it, progress going forward. So we're so excited to announce that is there, and it's still available to watch. Um, the Masters be every Sunday with myself and Mike Wallace as well, which we're super excited, as always, to watch and enjoy your content. It's how many years have me and Mike been doing it
Oh,
now? About 3.
about 3, yeah.
Yeah,
I
since
think so. I
F1
think it's
21, I
3
would
now.
say. So this is our
Yeah.
third year of doing it together, and I've done it since F1 2020, I would assume.
Yeah, and
Roughly.
when
So
it was when we started, I think you were here pretty early
I
on.
was either
So,
season 1 or season. It must have been about season 2 or 3 that I joined
mm,
and did comms on that on what was ERC Sunday. Um,
that's true.
but yeah, truly awesome, and the fact that it Masters has developed its own little formula around itself as well. It's so exciting to me.
No, it is definitely. Look, it's Masters is it's almost like it's the devil love child between the 100 and managers. So it I do think it's the pinnacle league that we have. It takes all the endurance you need of the 100 and the consistency with all the magic and realism that managers brings you. Um, it's a stunning format. It's definitely for it. How do you say? What's the right words to say it? It separates the men from the mice.
Yes,
That league. You yeah. It's really hard, and every Sunday night, everybody you speak to, by the end of it, we're all sweating, we're all tired, we're all sore. Um, it's hard work, but it's fun. It's
it's
fun.
it's
The
part
challenge is incredible.
it's part of the reason why us here in the comms box enjoy it so much, and I think uh, from a standpoint of, obviously, I was here when it was the ERC Sundays. It was a 50% league. It was enjoyable to watch, but there were so many 50% leagues around that it got washed out, and we didn't
Yeah.
want to do that anymore. And we didn't want to change Sunday. We wanted to change everything else. But now that we've
Yes.
changed Sunday to ERC Masters, we don't want to go back. It's super enjoyable for the audience. We get such a good crowd coming in and watching on a Sunday night. I don't know if it's just because it's me and Mike or if it's the racing, but I'm going to put it down to the racing. Because Mike's got his own little mini fan club that he brings
He
everywhere
does.
with him.
I've seen.
But it's
So he's
great.
got his own group.
He loves it. He loves it. And yeah, I mean, I've only got a couple more questions for you because I know, again, I don't want to keep you for too long here. But uh, do you reckon your drivers are looking forward to the new season? Because obviously F124, it's not been the best on release, but it's still,
No,
it's playable. But do you reckon they're looking
I
forward to
do
it?
think there's some. I do think there's some hesitation at the moment. I can see it in the numbers. I can see it with the comments that the people are giving. Um, so I do think it's going to be a bit of a slow start. Um, but eventually, I'm hoping that the bad publicity that the game got, that everybody will understand that we're all racing with the exact same format. We're all racing with the exact same issues and glitches and all that stuff. So that they'll come and enjoy the racing, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%, and I'll always stand by that comment that once people see how enjoyable and how good the actual racing is, people will jump on the bandwagon and want to have a go themselves. So I will always agree in the sense that yes, it's not been the best, but I reckon we're going to see this season some truly magnificent performances pulled out of just the most random situations. A late safety
Definitely.
car, or even like an early safety car that throws people off strategy, and then you've got 3 or 4 different strategies instead of just the 2 or 3 that you would usually see. And I think
Hmm.
that to me is the thing that is the most entertaining. And I'm not saying that we don't love the managers, because we do love the managers. I had a good time racing in it as well at the start of the new game and of F123. And don't get me wrong, my work commitments now get in the way of that. I would always love to return to managers. I really would. I'd
Yes.
said that I would eventually, if my day ever got changed from a Wednesday, I would come back and race. But unfortunately, my work doesn't allow me to do that. So I really want to see everything, become super enjoyable within um, the new game for most drivers. And from a standpoint of a commentator, we want people to enjoy the content that surrounds them as well. So,
Mm.
we always enjoy the suggestions that ERC bring to us as well. There's a lot of the drivers love our comments, and in my little note that I wrote yesterday for everyone in the International Paddock Discord, if you're not in it, hit the exclamation mark Discord now and join it. But I put a little note in to the announcements yesterday about the amount of thinking that I've been doing recently, and a lot of the drivers, a lot of the comments that we got last year were from ERC drivers. They absolutely love and soak up a lot of our content, and it's so heartwarming to see that ERC will always be one of the biggest supporters of us, and we will always support with them as
Most
well.
definitely.
And we can't wait to have you back racing again. Casper's got a genuine question apparently for you, and that is, are we
Yeah.
getting an ERC podcast?
No, we are not.
Oh no,
Unfortunately,
that's a
no.
shame.
It's a shame. It is. Look, we asked the question, um, but as you guys know, the amount of work that goes into those podcasts and the graphics and the videos and all that stuff, um, it's just at the end of the day, it needs to be worth it. Um, and at the moment, it just isn't. We don't have time. Obviously, I've changed jobs at the end of February, so my work commitments is just insane at the moment. Um, Bird also changed jobs recently. Mike is, I don't know, Mike never does anything. I don't know
He's
what he
lazy,
does.
isn't he? Mike
He's
Steele is
lazy as
lazy.
fuck. Yes. Um, I know he had some court commitments and stuff like that
Yeah,
lately. So
it's funny. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I let you do your job.
yes. So, in terms, we just don't have time. So, and I mean, honestly, the amount we took, at least myself, to create the videos, at least it takes at least a day, a full 24 hours, um, to create the videos and stuff, and I just don't have the time at the moment. So we're gonna give it a skip. We're gonna see what people's reactions are, if it's really gonna be missed, and then we'll decide for next season how we'll handle that.
As I say, ERC will always be a supporter of us, so we'll always support them. So if you guys need the space on the channels for the podcast, we'll always support that. So
No,
honestly,
definitely, man.
we we know what it's like. We understand that we've lost our main editor now, due to a change of jobs. So it's sort of we're feeling the burden, but we're getting by.
Hmm.
That's how we always seem to do anything, is getting by. But,
Getting by.
that's how it should be. Anyway, EXO, thank you very much for joining me on behalf of ERC and yourself in the comms box for
It's a
this
pleasure,
little
man. It's
chat, you
always
know?
always a pleasure chatting to you guys, and it was awesome meeting you at the
Yes,
Highland Show.
it was
Um,
great.
so yeah, look, we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to hearing your voices again on comms. We yeah, we were chomping at the bit just to get the competition going.
100%. Anyway, thank you, EXO, and thank you, ERC, for being with us once again for a brand new season on the F1 24 game. If you want to catch any of the racing, it starts live next week, next Wednesday, live right here on International Paddock with ERC Managers Round 1. You'll also be able to catch Round 1 of the 100 on the brand new Extra 2 channel, which the link for that will be in this Twitch as well as our Discord, so make sure to find that there as well. And also, you'll be able to catch me and Mike, the usual hosts of ERC Masters, live next Sunday at 8 PM, live right here on International Paddock. Thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you all again very soon. Goodbye.